Hi, this is Tracy from the Heat Lightning, and I'm meeting with Dennis Scholl and Lolo of Sweat Records. And Dennis is the Miami Program Director at the Knight Foundation, John S. and James L. And so we're meeting to talk a little bit about the Knight Arts Challenge, and it's starting Monday, right? Correct?
Monday, February 7th, the challenge opens. It's the 4th year, and you'll have till March 2nd to get your application in. As everybody knows in town by now, it's 150 words maximum, so it's not a whole lot of brain damage to get it done. And we're very excited. We hope to get another 1,000 applications this year.
Definitely. And I was going to ask sort of about the grassroots arts, movement sort of that you guys are funding. I mean, that's really something that's so important, and I think that it's really helped, the community in Miami, like all of us, me, you, all of us, gives you something to write about, and gives you something to do, and you something to do, and so
gives me a job.
Yeah, exactly, awesome. And so is that something that you're passionate about? Is like the little people?
Yeah, on a personal level, I am, because I've been collecting contemporary art for 33 years now, and I have always collected art made last Tuesday. I've collected young, emerging artists in my collection. We're known for that internationally on a personal level. So when I came tonight and I got the opportunity to reach out into the community with the arts program, there was no question that there was always going to be a component of what we did that was emerging organizations, emerging individual artists, because that's really the fuel again that is driving this community culturally. It's great when we have an incredible building like the Frank Gehry building for the New World Symphony, 15 years in the making. So you've got to give people an opportunity to express themselves and to try and elevate their aspirations. And the young artists of this community, it's been coming in waves. Maybe the last decade was about the visual arts. Lolo and I have talked a lot about the fact that this decade will be about music. We really feel like bands are going to break. Yeah, but we do. We feel like bands are going to break, and people are going to start looking at Miami as a place that is more than the Winter Music Conference and electronica and things like that. So we both talked about that a lot, and she's been helping me a little bit about who might be moving forward.
That's great. Okay.
And all those young artists, they need fuel too, so we make them coffee.
Yeah.
And waffles.
And
Waffles and coffee. What you're doing a waffle party?
Yeah, we've kind of been doing it every other Sunday. It started, there's a global vegan waffle movement. Their event is in May, and it started in one guy's apartment. Now it's done in over 80 cities worldwide. And from that, we started throwing our own little waffle brunches, and it's been a very yummy and fun community eating experience.
So, the Knight Foundation also works in Detroit, which is another emerging, it's sort of a big arts city now. It's kind of coming up as kind of where we were a couple of years ago. And so, do you see any similarities or differences between maybe the work you guys do there and the work you're doing here?
Yeah, I think about Detroit a lot lately. I'm obsessed with it, actually, because as an art collector, Berlin is the coolest city in the world right now for the visual arts. And Detroit has the potential to be the Berlin of America. You can buy a house there for $10,000. You can buy a house you'd live in for $30,000.
Exactly.
And you can buy a mansion for $50,000 or $60,000. So, and there are big spaces to work in. And it is a welcoming town, and it has infrastructure.
Yeah.
When I think of Detroit and I think of Miami, I think of something I did in the 80s. I was one of the early redevelopers of South Beach. And it's hard for people to imagine now, but it was really scary down there.
And yes. A long time. Not wait.
1985, 86, 87.
It's like when we moved here.
Yeah, but you don't remember.
I remember when we came down and we stayed at hotels down there, really looking for places.
Everybody's grandmother lived there,
Yeah, it was like virtual hotels.
But it was a really scary place, actually. And so when I think of Detroit, in fact, I was headed to Detroit this week to give a speech, and I got snowed out to give a speech about why Detroit is like South Beach. And people there just can't imagine it because they think of Detroit as Detroit. What they don't remember is the Time magazine cover of South Florida, and the big thing splashed across was Paradise Lost. I mean, it was just a scary place to be. So I'm obsessed with Detroit. I can't stop thinking about it.
Interesting.
Good question.
So I'm kind of really interested about you guys looking forward to like music scene in Miami and everything. And I think that's something that there's a lot of sort of, we all feel that things are getting better here, you know. And so kind of how do you feel like Night can maybe help the local music scene in the future?
Well, you know, maybe Lolo could tell me how she thinks we should help. You know, what are the things that we can do other than supporting this incredible fun place? What else could we do?
Well, maybe you'll have to find out with my submissions this year.
She doesn't want to give away the ghost.
Just fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot though. I mean, we hope that the web store that we're launching, which was a big part of our grant that we won, will help out because it'll kind of put all in one place, which was, you know, Sweat's physical location was to put the very spread out geographically Miami music scene to give it kind of a central hub, a portal where you can find out about the rest of it.
Yeah.
And we want the online store to kind of be a place where people can look at it and click around and be like, oh, people are making all kinds of stuff in Miami. Oh, this band's from Miami? Oh, this is great. And just kind of, you know, see all in one place, very clean, very colorful, all the creative output here.
That's a really good idea. It makes sense. I mean, you know,
I'll
that's
show
how
you
we.
the prototype.
I'd love to see it. But it's great how, like, you know, because I mean, I use the internet to learn about other things and people in other places. Because you know,
I think everyone who goes to the site will learn something.
And that's what's so great. It's just a smart tool to like get Miami out into the world and bring people.
And hopefully generate some revenue for people who make stuff.
Yeah. And the other thing is that you know, we're all about audience engagement.
Right.
And we're about informed and engaged communities. And that's a big global message when you think about it. But when you drill down, we've got to find a way, if we're going to focus a little bit on music in our grant making, we've got to find a way to bring audiences to what's going on. Or we've got to find a way to bring the music to the audiences. So one of the things we've done, you may or may not know that, is something called random acts of culture.
Yes.
And we've been able to bring the audiences in their everyday routine a classical experience.
Yes.
And so we think that that's the kind of thing that can change things and really have people think of the arts as something that's woven into their everyday life. And that's what we're trying to do. All these grants are about that. They're about finding organizations who are passionate about the arts and who have done some sweat equity, because you know, my girl here has done some sweat equity. And to elevate them to the next level. We want to take organizations like what Lolo is doing, like what Gene Moreno is doing with his main publications, his artist book publishing company, like the Borscht guys are doing. We want to take those budding organizations in the community to the next level.
That's wonderful, and I thank you both for meeting with me, and the Heat Lightning appreciates your time as well, or the people watching.
Hi, Heat Lightning.
And I really appreciate it, and we really think what you're doing in the community is great, both of you, and
It's indispensable. I mean, I almost don't want to imagine what Miami would be like if the Night Arts
That-
Challenge
yeah.
hadn't started.
It'd be
You know,
very
if we
sad.
didn't have the organization in town, it would be definitely not as awesome as